Now let us enter into fifth chapter. It is about refraction through a lens. Last chapter we have studied about refraction through a glass slab and refraction through prism. I hope you remember what is the phenomenon called refraction. When light enters from one optical medium to another optical medium, its path is getting deviated, direction changes. This phenomenon is known as refraction. So we are going to discuss about how refraction happens through a lens. So first I will explain about lens. You know, lens is a transparent optical medium which is usually made of glass and having one or two spherical surfaces. Spherical surfaces means surfaces which are the parts of a sphere or curved surfaces. And there are two types of lenses. Convex lens, which is also called as a converging lens. Another one, concave lens, which is also called as a diverging lens. Then different types of convex lenses are there. They are double convex lens, which are having two spherical surfaces. Then next one is plano convex lens, which has one spherical surface and one plane surface. Then next one is concavo convex lens. These are the three types of convex lenses. Once again, the names are double convex, plano convex, concavo convex. And these lenses are having a unique character. Their middle portion is thicker and edges are thin. These type of lenses generally we categorize or call as convex lens. Middle portion thicker and the edges thin. Now about concave lens. These lenses are also of three types. Their names are double concave lens, plano concave lens, convexo concave lens. Okay, double concave. It has two spherical surfaces. Then plano concave. One side is plane, the other one is concave. Then convexo concave lens. Then here the unique character is the middle portion of these lenses are thin and edges are thick. This type of lenses comes under the category concave lenses. So the main characteristic of concave lens is its middle portion is thicker and middle portion is thin, edges are thick. Just opposite of convex lens. Middle portion thinner, edges are thick. This is the characteristic of concave lens. Then let us see what will happen when light passes through a lens. In your syllabus you have to study mainly about double convex and double concave lens. These are the two lenses coming in your syllabus. Okay. Now let us see what happens when light passes through a lens. Look at the diagram. Here I have shown a convex lens. A light ray, oblique light ray passes through the lens and it comes out. The names given to the rays are incident ray, refracted ray and emergent ray. Okay. Then here the lens is made of glass and the surrounding medium is air. So this light incident ray is in air medium. While entering from air to glass, it undergoes refraction. You have studied it in previous chapter. Then, so the light ray undergoes refraction, first refraction at this point. Okay, so on this curved surface, first we call it as the first surface, there the first refraction takes place. Now the refracted ray is in glass medium From there it enters into air medium. So second refraction happens at this point on this curved surface. So twice refraction happens. Once while entering from air to glass, second refraction happens while light ray enters from glass to air. But when we make the diagrams, usually we make the incident ray and emergent ray. We skip the refracted ray. This dotted line shows the diameter of the lens. Okay, and usually lenses are very thin. Here in my diagram I have shown the lens with this much thickness. Real lens will not have this much thickness. So this refracted ray we ignore, and what we do while making the diagrams is only this incident ray and emergent ray will be shown in all the coming diagrams. So what we are doing while making the diagram is, this is the diameter of the lens. This incident ray we will draw up to this diameter. From there the emergent ray will be drawn. Only incident ray and emergent ray will be shown in your diagram. Okay, in all the coming diagrams this will be followed. Now let us see what is the reason for calling a convex lens as a converging lens and concave lens as a diverging lens. Actually a lens is made of several prisms. A convex lens as well as concave lens is a combination of several lenses. Look at this diagram. This diagram shows a convex lens. It has a glass block in the middle. This portion is a glass block, and two prisms are there in the upper and lower portion. Okay, and you have studied what happens when light passes through a prism. In last chapter you have studied, when an oblique light ray passes through prism, it comes out. This emergent ray will be always bending towards the base. It is an important concept. Whenever light ray passes through a prism, the emergent ray bends towards the base only. So we have to apply this concept in this explanation. Look at this convex lens. I am drawing some light rays, parallel light rays falling on this convex lens. And this first light ray, it falls on this prism. This is the prism in the upper half. This prism has its base here. So for this incident ray, its emergent ray will bend towards the base, means it will come downward. What about this light ray? This light ray passes through this lower prism. This is the lower prism, and here is the base. So this ray will bend towards the base, means it will go upward. So see what happened to the light rays. Two parallel light rays, after passing through this convex lens, they converge. The word meaning of converging is meeting at this point. That is the reason why convex lens is called as a converging lens. Now, what about concave lens? Why it is called as a diverging lens? A concave lens is also made of a glass block in the middle and a number of prisms. In both the diagrams, only some sample prisms I have shown. Here one prism in the upper half, one in the lower half. Actually many prisms are there, overlapping prisms are there. Here also I have shown only one sample prisms in the upper and lower half. And here same way, two parallel rays passing through the concave lens I have shown. And look at the first light ray, it passes through this prism. This is the prism. Only part of the prism is shown in the diagram. And for this prism, this is the base. So this ray will bend towards the base. Similarly, this light ray passes through the lower prism. Its base is here. So this ray will bend Towards the base means it will go downward. So what happened to the parallel light rays after passing through a concave lens? You can see they are diverging. That is the reason why a concave lens is called as a diverging lens. Now let us discuss some terms connected with the lenses, both convex and concave. Look at the first diagram. It shows a convex lens, a double convex lens. It has two spherical surfaces. This is the first spherical surface. This is the second spherical surface. Usually the surface on the left side is considered as the first surface and right side as the second surface. It has two spherical surfaces. I mean, these two surfaces are the part of two spheres. For example, the first surface is part of this sphere and second surface is the part of another sphere. So, a convex lens is assumed as a part of two spheres. Similarly, a concave lens also, it has two spherical surfaces. This is the first surface. It is the part of one sphere and this surface is part of another sphere. So that is why generally these lenses are called spherical mirrors. Okay, now let us see the terms, important terms connected with lenses. First term, center of curvature. It is the center of the two spheres with which this lens is made of. For example, look at the first surface. This first surface is part of one sphere, its center. I mean, this is the center of one sphere. Similarly, this sphere has its center. These centers we call as center of curvature. C1, C2. Usually these are the symbols we are giving. Similarly, here also, this is the center of the first sphere, C1, and here is the center of the second sphere, C2. So, C1 and C2 are called center of curvature. Now, radius of curvature. It is the radius of these spheres. Radius of these two spheres we call as radius of curvature. Here, these two spheres are of same radius. So, such a lens is called equiconvex lens. If both the spheres which make the lens are of same radius, that lens is called equiconvex lens. These spheres can be of different radius also. You will study about them in higher classes. Okay, in your syllabus we are studying about equiconvex lens and equiconcave lens. In this case also, if the two spheres are of same radius, that lens we call as equiconcave lens. Okay, so that is about radius of curvature. Then next point, optical center. It is the midpoint of the lens. The symbol which we use is O. Here also the center point of the lens is called optical center, and it has some special character. If any light ray passes through optical center, it goes undeviated if the lens is very thin. Okay, just before this I made a diagram where the light rays pass through. Look at this diagram. This is the incident ray, refracted ray and emergent ray. You can see the refracted ray passes through optical center. Okay, in that case the lateral displacement is very less. How to find out the lateral displacement? Extend this incident ray straight forward. Okay, the perpendicular distance between the incident ray extended and the emergent ray is called as lateral displacement. And this lateral displacement will be least if the refracted ray passes through optical center. So we assume that if any light ray passes through optical center, it goes undeviated. That least lateral displacement we are ignoring. So we assume that if any light ray passes through optical center of the convex lens or concave lens, it goes undeviated. So the midpoint of the lens we call as optical center. Next term, principal axis. It is an imaginary line joining the center of curvatures. See, by joining C1 and C2, if you draw a line, that line we call as principal axis, and the optical center will come in that principal axis. In this case also, by joining C1 and C2, if a straight line is drawn, that line is called as principal axis of the lens. Now next term, principal focus. A convex lens and concave lens has two principal foci. First principal focus and second principal focus. Focus is plural is foci, F-O-C-I-I. So let us see what is the meaning of first principal focus and second principal focus of a convex lens. Here in the diagram I have shown optical center, center of curvature C1 and C2 on both sides. Now first principal focus of a convex lens is a particular point on the principal axis and the special feature of that point is that the light rays passing through that point, look at the light rays passing through that particular point, diverging rays I have shown, after passing through the lens comes out parallelly. That particular point we call as first principal focus of convex lens, and its symbol is capital letter F1. Once again, first principal focus of a convex lens is a point from which the light rays diverging or the light rays passing through that particular point after passing through the lens comes out parallelly. Okay, these rays will come out parallelly only if they originate from a specific point. That specific point is known as first principal focus of convex lens. Now let us see what is the meaning of second principal focus of a convex lens. Here the emergent rays were parallel, but in this case incident rays are parallel. Remember, when you draw the light rays, draw up to the diameter of the lens as straight line. From there you draw the emergent ray. Refracted ray we are ignoring. So up to the middle of the lens you have to draw the incident ray. So here two parallel rays are falling on a convex lens. See what happens after refraction. After refraction, they meet at a point. That point is known as second principal focus of convex lens. Definition is, when some parallel rays pass through a convex lens, after refraction they converge or meet at a point that is known as second principal focus. And this there are two principal foci for a convex lens, first principal focus and second principal focus. And this second principal focus is called as the main focus. Remember it, second principal focus F2 is called as the main focus. Now let us see the same terms of concave lens. What is the meaning of first principal focus of first and second principal focus of concave lens? Look at two light rays falling on a concave lens. Then these light rays are appearing to meet at a point. I mean, if you extend it, these two light rays, they are the incident rays, they are appearing to meet at a point. Okay, the rays, means assumed path must be drawn with a dotted line always. So these light rays, after passing through the lens, see how they come out. This dotted line is the path assumed, not the real path. So these light rays, which are appearing to meet at a point, after refraction through a concave lens, comes out parallel. In that case, where the rays, incident rays are assumed to meet, that is called as the first principal focus of concave lens. Then, what is the meaning of second principal focus of concave lens? In that case, incident rays are to be parallel. Consider two parallel rays falling on a concave lens. And what happens after refraction? After refraction, they diverge. But these emergent rays, which are diverging, if you extend backward, straight backward, they are appearing to meet at a point. That point is known as second principal focus of concave lens. So, for the definition of first principal focus, you remember the emergent rays are parallel. For second principal focus definition, incident rays are parallel. And you might have noticed, for a convex lens, F1 comes on the left side, F2 on the right side. But here it is opposite. F1 has come on the right side, F2 has come on the left side. Okay, then another point, here F1 and F2 are real points. That means the convex lens has real focus. The light rays are really meeting, which makes F1 and F2. But here F1, look at the points F1 and F2, they are virtual points. That means concave lens, its focus is a virtual point. We assume that light rays are meeting there. But here it is not so. The light rays are really meeting. Then next term, focal length. There are two focal lengths for convex and concave lens. First focal length and second focal length. We use the symbol small letter F1 and small letter F2. Let us see the definition. It is very simple. The distance from optical center, this is the optical center, the distance from optical center to first principal focus, this distance is known as first focal length, and the symbol is small letter F1. Okay, then second focal length means distance from optical center to second principal focus. This distance is known as F2. Since we are discussing about equiconvex lens, F1 and F2 are equal. Focal length on both sides are equal. Similarly, here also, distance from optical center to first principal focus. This distance is known as first focal length. Distance from optical center to second principal focus. This distance from optical center to second principal focus is known as second focal length. For focal length, we use the symbol small letter f. Principal focus, it is a particular point. For that, we use the symbol capital letter F in all the diagrams. Then next term, focal plane. Last term, focal plane. There are two focal planes, first focal plane and second focal plane. It is an imaginary vertical plane passing through the principal focus. For example, you imagine a vertical plane passing through this first principal focus. A vertical plane passing through first principal focus is known as first focal plane. Similarly, a vertical plane passing through second principal focus is known as second focal plane. Here also same definitions. A vertical plane passing through first principal focus is first focal plane and a vertical plane passing through second principal focus is called second focal plane. Now next topic, the factors affecting focal length of a lens. You know, focal length means it is the distance from optical center to principal focus. Okay, since we are discussing about double convex or equiconvex lens, the focal length, first focal length and second focal length are same, because we are discussing about equiconvex lens. So the center of curvature, radius of curvature of both the spheres are of same size, means f1 and f2, first focal length and second focal length are equal. Now, which factors will determine focal length of a lens? There is a formula for focal length. 1 by f is equal to mu minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Actually, in your syllabus, this formula doesn't come, just I gave it. To remember that focal length is determined by, mainly by the refractive index. Mu means refractive index of the material, and radius of curvature of the first surface and second surface. Radius of curvature and refractive index of the material of the prism. These are the main factors that determine the focal length of a lens. Let us see the terms one by one. First term is refractive index. About refractive index we have studied in previous chapter. Refractive index of this material of the prism with respect to the surroundings will affect the focal length, and the relation is inverse relation. Okay, if the material of this lens has high refractive index, less will be the focal length. Okay, refractive index and the focal length of the lens are inversely related. Then, if the lens has same medium on both sides, okay, its focal length on both sides, first focal length and second focal length are same. Suppose the medium on one side is air and one side is water, then the first focal length and second focal length will differ. It will be different. So, if the medium on both sides are same, its both focal lengths are same. Then another point, if the lens is immersed in water, will its focal length change or not? A lens, its focal length changes or not if it is immersed in water. Let us explain the reason. Let us see the reason with an explanation. Refractive index of this, first you consider the lens is in air medium. So refractive index of glass, lens is made of glass with respect to air. Then refractive index of glass with respect to water are different. When refractive index of glass with respect to air and refractive index of glass with respect to water, they are not same. You know, refractive index will be high when the lens is in air medium. Remember the formula for refractive index? It is equal to the speed of light in first medium upon speed of light in second medium. So, first example, air is the first medium, glass is the second medium. So, when you find out in second case, water is the first medium, glass is the second medium. So, refractive index of this glass is different in air medium if the air medium is the surrounding medium and water medium. So, refractive index of this lens or glass is high when the surrounding medium is air. That means refractive index is high means focal length is less. Okay, so when the lens is in air medium, its focal length is less because the refractive index is high. So when a lens is immersed in water, refractive index decreases and focal length increases. So remember, refractive index of this material will affect the focal length. Refractive index of this material with respect to the surrounding medium. Then next point. If a lens is made of two different material, suppose a lens is made with two different materials kept alternatively. Means here one material, here another material. Means different materials are used for a lens. Then it will have two principal focus on both sides. Two focus will be there, and thereby it will make two images on both sides. Here two images will form, here two images will form. I mean there will be two focus on one side and two focus on another side. Then so remember the first point, the refractive index of material of the prism is a factor determining the focal length of the lens. Second factor is radius of curvature. Okay, radius of curvature means it is the radius of the sphere with which this lens is made of. Okay, the factors which I am explaining here is applicable to both the lenses, convex and concave lenses. Then how the radius of curvature will affect the focal length. Look at these two diagrams. I have drawn a thick lens and a thin lens. Let us see how their radius of curvature are. I am completing the figure. So it is quite clear that a thick lens is made of two small spheres. These are the center of curvature, C1 and C2. A thin lens is made of two big spheres. You know, radius of curvature means it is the radius of the sphere. So the conclusion is, if the lens is a thick lens, it has less radius of curvature. If the lens is a thin lens, it has more radius of curvature. And radius of curvature, its half is focal length. R is equal to F is equal to R by 2. This is actually an approximate formula. Okay, you will study about in higher classes about its variation and all different cases. So, half of radius of curvature is the focal length. So, here which lens will have high focal length? Thin lens or thick lens? Apply this formula. Radius of curvature, its half is focal length. So, here thin lens has more radius of curvature. So its half means focal length. So which lens will have high focal length? The lens which has high R, radius of curvature will have high focal length. So remember, a thin lens will have high focal length, a thick lens will have less focal length. Remember it. Then what will happen to the focal length if a lens is broken horizontally? Suppose this lens you are breaking horizontally into half. Its focal length will not change. Okay, if a lens is broken horizontally into two pieces, its focal length will not change. What will happen if a lens is you are cutting a lens vertically into two equal pieces. Okay, in that case, the focal length will be equal to radius of curvature. Its explanations doesn't come in your syllabus. Okay, so I'm just skipping. Remember that if the lens is cut into two halves horizontally, focal length remains same. It will not change. But if a lens is cut vertically into two equal pieces, its focal length changes. Focal length will become equal to the radius of curvature. Imagine this was the complete lens. Here the focal length is half of radius of curvature. If the lens is cut into two halves like this, I mean one side becomes plane, then the focal length becomes equal to radius of curvature. The next point. So, second factor is radius of curvature. First factor, refractive index of this material will affect focal length. Then radius of curvature will affect the focal length. Third point, color of the light used. Same lens will give different focal length for different colors. For example, suppose you are finding out focal length by using violet color and then red color. Violet color has high refractive index. It is recently you have learned in previous chapter. Since violet color gives high refractive index, it will give less focal length. And similarly, red color light if you use, since red color has less refractive index, the focal length shown by the lens will be high. Now let us conclude. So third point, color of the light. Color of the light, or you can say wavelength of the light. These three factors will determine the focal length of a lens. Now the conclusion, what are the differences, main differences between a convex and concave lens? Let us analyze some points. First point, a convex lens is a converging lens, concave is a diverging lens. Then another point, this convex lens, its focus points are real points, but for concave it is virtual points. Then another one, for convex lens, middle portion is thicker, edges are thin. For concave it is opposite, middle portion is thin, edges are thick. These are some differences between convex and concave lens.